Hey everyone, my name's Sebastian and welcome to another Atmoseeker. Today I'm going to look at creating atmosphere for your online games. In particular, how to broadcast that audio of atmospheric and ambience and music to your players' ears. This all came along when looking for an alternative to a very popular program for Dungeon Masters for creating ambience called Syrinscape. The online edition of that app is a little bit cumbersome to use from the Dungeon Masters side, and the player side of things you have to install an app, you have to sign up for an account, and I really wanted to streamline that process. So what I'm going to look at today is a new technique that I've come across to broadcast that audio to your players simply and easily, that they can just join and have a very immersive and high quality audio sounding experience when you're running the game. I've also broken up the video into sections, so feel free to jump around the video to what interests you the most. Towards the end of the video, I'll be looking at a variety of sources that I use for generating ambience or sound effects. Alright, I'm going to just run you through a couple of the apps I use for playing music and ambience. The first one I'm showing you here is the D&Dify app. It's a reskinned interface for the Spotify app, but I'm running it here through an Android emulator. The D&Dify app also requires you to have the Spotify and YouTube apps installed. That's because it's going to pull playlists from those apps and play it through the interface. The layout here is much more intuitive for a Dungeon Master. You can see it's broken up into all these different tabs. You can set those while adding playlists, and you can add playlists from Spotify or YouTube. It even has a great feature where you can add a few shortcuts to playlists. For instance here, it's a fight button so you can hit it when you're about to enter combat. The next app here is what I use for firing off all the ambient sounds that I use for my games. It's a free to download PC app called SoftRope. It plays files that are locally stored on your computer, and you can adjust all types of different effects for looping, fading, or whatever effect you're going for. All the icons here are generated from a website called gameicons.net. It makes it easier to populate all these buttons. I'll leave a link in the description. Now let's have a listen to both the apps working together. Now let's take a look at how we can take audio from those sound apps and deliver it in high quality to our players online. Basically, I set up an online radio broadcaster that the players can just click a link and join into the game's audio stream. I did shop around quite a bit, and this one was the cheapest by far. You only need to pay for the amount of listeners that you're going to have, so since this is just going to be a small D&D group of 5 or 6 people, it's only going to cost a few dollars a month. Next, I'm just going to connect to that online broadcasting service. There are a variety of broadcasters you can use. The one I'm using here is called But. Then it's just a matter of copying the settings from your online hosting dashboard and popping them in the similar spots in your broadcaster. There's no audio coming through yet. We still need to install a couple of extra things to help route that audio from those soundboards into the broadcaster. The first thing is going to be a virtual audio cable. Basically, this is another output for the audio to pipe through from those soundboards. It's so that audio coming through Zoom or Discord doesn't get muddled in with the other audio. The other one is an audio router. Running that allows us to connect the output from those soundboard apps directly into that virtual audio cable we just created. Now just back in the radio broadcaster app, we set the input to the virtual audio cable output. Hit broadcast, and now all we have to do is share the link from our online hosting dashboard with our players, easily connecting them to the audio stream. So it's a little bit of setup from the Dungeon Master side, but from the player side, just being able to click a link and join into the audio stream is really nice, fast, and easy. There is a little bit of a 6 to 10 second lag, or could be less, depending on where you're located and where your broadcasting service is located. But I've noticed that I've been able to adapt to that delay. Let's take a quick look at some of the sources that I use for creating atmosphere and ambience in the game. Michael Gelfi is a fantastic resource for any kind of ambience that you need for your tabletop role-playing games. He's composed a wide variety of locations, some of which including some ambient music that is subtle enough that you could play your own music over the top, but if you keep it going, it creates a nice subtle undertone. Another fantastic resource is the Sword Coast Soundscapes YouTube channel. Not only do they have fantastic ambiences that you can use, some of them are specifically designed for Wizard of the Coast adventures. From the haunted jungles of Tomb of Annihilation to the gothic horror of Curse of Strahd. BattleBards has a lot of albums of ambience, background music, and even monsterscapes. In particular, I've probably used more of the object sounds or monster sounds from this website, like the grind of a heavy granite door or a pack of squabbling goblins. Tabletop Audio is one of the first websites I ever used when creating game ambience. It has an extremely wide range of different locations, with some having some integrated music. It also has a variety of sound pads that you can use to fire off individual sound effects, or even save out scenes for when they occur in the game. Well, I hope you found that useful, and if you did, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'll leave links to all the sources and applications that I use in the description below. If you have any other methods for creating atmosphere for your online games, I'd be curious to hear about them in the comments section. I'm Sebastian, and I'll see you on the next Atmoseeker. Let's create and inspire. See you next time.